Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Before we get into this next build video for the support class, I'd like to ask you all to please leave a like or comment on my video. Consider subscribing to my channel, and if you dislike the video, please leave a dislike and a comment. So, we are heading over to the next in the support class vessels. I actually do know that there are 3 or 4 of them in this total agenda, but I am looking at some of the other ships. They are support, but I don't know exactly how to use them, so I'm not making a video on them. Now, I have tested a lot of my builds recently just to double check on them, and testing them doesn't mean that I'm running it myself. I contact a random player in the game who I know is running, example, Vexer or Stabber or one of the other vessels, like the Prophecy, so on. And I have them run and test my builds. And so far, 90% of the time, they say my builds are very efficient. They have noted that 1 or 2 of my build choices in weapons have been a little bit poor. So it is something which I'm working on. However, the support class vessels, I am merely speculating. That's how come they just called Osprey support vessel build. That's why they're not called best fits, they're not called best builds, they're not called anything in terms of a rating. And I did receive a comment on one of my videos asking if there's a way to donate to the channel. Unfortunately, at the moment, there isn't anything. I'm going to be putting up a Teespring store. Now, the whole idea with it isn't really so much so that it makes profits. So I'm going to reduce the sale amounts on them. I'm going to put up some art on them. And overall, let's see whatever I can get out there. So if you want to do anything to support the channel, that will be available. At least it's something handy and useful to you, and it's something for me as well at the same time. It might make this YouTube channel my full-time thing, and I might actually invest a little bit heavier into getting more art and things like that into the game. Not into the game, into the videos. So you might see some art in the start, you might see some thumbnails, you might see some merchandise from those art, and it's basically just going to surround my word choicing and my type of phrasing. Like the book, I was told that nothing is to be made with anything from the game. I'm not allowed to use any insignias, any ships, any patterns from Eve Echoes. My game, not my game, sorry, my book cover is the only thing that's going to be different. I can only use the logos from my channel. So anything which I do make in my channel, I might be able to put up on the book cover. That's once the book is out, which the author is falling behind on. The author did tell me what happened. His PC crashed. So with the crashed PC, he hasn't been able to upload anything, and he doesn't want me to spoil anything. He's right now working from his phone, and he doesn't like the way that things are going because he can't edit properly. So that's why there's a delay on the book as well. So getting back to the video, let's start up with the Scythe build. Now the Scythe is once more a support class vessel. It is also in the range of a shield booster. So let's go into the first one. Remote shield booster optimal range 400%. That means 4 times the range. And they are an average of 7.5, excluding research. If you have done research to be a support role, you're going to have somewhere in the range of 10 kilometers on your minimum. No, wait, sorry, 9 kilometers on your basic and advanced, and with experts will be just over 10. So that will give you about 40 kilometers radius with this vessel, if not more. I'm not 100% sure. Now next is plus 50% group shield effective range. Group shielding is the one in your mid slot. It's the one that allows you to support an entire fleet around you. 50% group transmitter effective range. Also same thing, that gives you basically like a bubble where players can run in and out where you are. It doesn't affect your capacitor so much when they come in and out of the reach of your ship's recharge capacity. It's only activation that eats your power. It's one of the best ways to run regen. However, the mid slots are very heavy in gigajoule usage. Okay, going down, advanced remote shield operation bonus, plus 7.5% remote shield booster shield boost amount. Okay, so it gives you more shield if you have the research. So going up with the full 5 levels in advanced, you're going to have 7.5 times 5. You're going to have 37.5% extra shield being given to you each time you recharge someone's shield. Remote capacitor need is also reduced by 37.5. That gives you an overall usage of this vessel at quite a reduced amount. So you're really going to have an advantage if you have research to become a support role player. Now moving on, the advanced cruiser command will give you remote capacitor optimal range and remote capacitor transmission effect 15%. So 100% on the range and 15% on the effect. Okay, going down, let's start looking at the ship. It has a 10,000 basic setup on overall defense, around the same class as trainers, with a flight velocity of 302 meters per second. This is a very fast vessel, just like the previous one. One of its best tactics will be to run up the speed to ensure you don't get hit. Warp is also 3.5. Now, here is something to note very carefully: 381 megawatts on the power output. Now, we have done the exact same build on the Osprey basically. And when you look at the output from the Osprey, you know that we just landed short of 100 megawatts or 150 megawatts on that vessel. So this vessel will also be in the same class and you can actually do the same thing. Capacitor over here is 4,517 gigajoules, the same as the previous vessel. Now let's just look at the market price on this vessel. Let's see if anybody is actually purchasing it. 188 million for this vessel. It's not too bad of a price, trading upwards of 190. The reason why these will trade so nicely is they have fantastic help in PvP and PvE. Now let's start thinking about the slots first. Your engineering is going to go exactly like the previous: one for velocity, one for capacitor increase, and one for capacitor recharge. That's your engineering done. And that's your mechanical on your engineering rigs. And then let's go up to your standard rigs. Your standard rigs are going to be all in defense: increased booster, increased decreased need on the system. And your last option is to put on an EM dampener to ensure that you take a little bit less damage from EM. It would help you out a lot. But there is another option which I didn't really explain the last time. You could reduce the activation time. Now, reducing shield activation time means that you can heal your ship a little faster. It's not really what you want. What you actually want overall on this vessel is for it to last a little bit longer in combat and to give you that little bit of a boost. Also in the engineering rigs is one to give you extra megawatt output. So you could actually put that in place of your extra capacitor, but the extra capacitor is needed because of the drain from the weapons that you're basically going to slot in. So let's look at the low slot and let's describe exactly what you're going to go with. A battery to give you extra gigajoules on an instant and give you a larger capacitor overall. That's increasing a 25% added bonus from your level 2 capacitor plus the Acolyte battery, or sorry, it's not the Acolyte battery, it's the highest level in those batteries. And that's going to give you quite a boost. Now let me go through the list of items. As I have been told before, it's best to show it. So let's go into the engineering, let's go into navigation. Auxiliary thruster, if I'm correct. Yes, this is the field that you're going to be attaching onto your vessel immediately off the start. And let's look at what its price is in the market. Just a little bit of an extra added to it. About 50 million for this piece of equipment. It is a very big boost to your speed, and it is something that's going to help you overall. Now going straight into engineering. I did say that there were two options over here, so let's go into memory. Capacity multiplier 20%. This is fantastic for your vessel. It gives you a little bit more power. It allows you to recharge a little bit faster as well, and it's going to give you that boost that you need to keep this vessel running a few extra seconds. Going down, if I'm correct, this is the one for capacitor recharge time, minus 15%. Now I did say there was another option over here. Let me just go down. There's a 10 power grid bonus, 10%. 10% extra to this power grid is going to grant you 30 megawatts onto your vessel. That's 400 megawatts overall. It gives you a little bit of a boost. That's if you run into the problem where you've equipped all of your slots and you're running out of power, and it won't allow you to go any further. Now those are your options over here. Okay, so let's continue on with the next part of the build, which was your combat rigs. You're going to go full defensive. You're not even going to think about upgrading armor. You're just going to go straight into your shield. It's a shield support ship. If your shield drops, it's pointless in you even worrying about anybody else's. So let's go with the first one, core defense. Adjustment time, minus 15%. This is one of your two options. You can either run this or anti-EM slot. It's purely up to you. It makes a minor difference in the whole setup of your defense. Shield boost amount bonus 25%. You need this on your vessel. Capacitor need adjustment, minus 15%, very important. And last but not least was your anti-explosive, anti-EM, anti-kinetic, anti-thermal. One of these is what you could place in instead of the first one which I showed, which was called, core defense, which gives you a boost in activation time. Now the boost in activation time means that you can recharge your shield a lot faster. It gives you that little bit of an edge, which becomes a major edge in the game. Now going into your low slots. Number one, you're going to need a shield hardener. So once more, wrong slot. Shield hardener, first thing in, let's calculate power right now. Remember, power is going to become a major thing. This is 1 megawatt. There you go, 36.1 gigajoules. Hold the figures in your head and start adding them together, 1 and 34. Then shield booster. As it is, this is medium. You're going C-type again. Now you have 56 megawatts and 198 gigajoules being used. So remember that again in your head, keep it in there. And now we're going to the heavy usage item, the afterburner. The afterburner is one of the more important pieces on the bottom of your ship. So let's look at it quickly. 25 gigajoules added to the one. Okay, I'm not even going to keep track of it myself. So you add it together, you're getting just over 200. Just keep track on where it is. You just 220 something. I don't know what's the odd numbers, but that's where you are with your power. Your activation cost is, your power grid requirement is 15 megawatts. That raises you up to 60, 70, 71 megawatts altogether, and you still need to go for the last piece. Now, as I said, the last piece is going to be a capacitor battery to increase your power overall in the vessel. Now, this is very important for the support vessels. Without extra power, they are going to die on you and they're going to cause you a lot of grief. And once more, we just add in the big figure of 83. Adding the 83 to the 71, that's 154 megawatts. That's a 380 megawatt power grid. You already have taken out 150 from it. You are now down to 230 to go. Your gigajoules on this is massive. With a massive 683 gigajoules, it gives you a massive drain on your capacitor. However, when you drain the 600, you're gaining an additional 400 to use in terms of overall usage on the ship. So it isn't really a massive loss. It's minus 683 for plus 400. You can use it once every 60 seconds and the activation lasts for 25 seconds. Now, the whole use of these is to extend that time by a little bit. With everything that I have just described, you're going to have a little bit of a tough shield, which can regenerate, and you're going to have additional speed, so you can evade a lot of damage by speed tanking. Now, getting to the mid slot. The mid slot had two things in the group radius, so let's go straight to the group options. No, this isn't the group shield. Group shield booster, right, here we go. As you can see, it's 1 megawatt. How much does it consume? 300 gigajoules every time it activates. Now, immediately as you start to add all of these gigajoule activations and start piling them on, you can see that you're going past the you already passed the 1200 mark because of the previous one, but I did say that you can count it as plus 400 instead of minus 1 and instead of minus 600. So that's what it's going to be on your overall drain. Now, the other thing that it had was transmitter bonuses. Now, you can use the group transmitter. I'm just going to show it off quickly, but this isn't what I would suggest for you to use. 600 gigajoules a second, 123 gigajoules transfer. This is the reason why I didn't show it. Even though we can give everybody 123, it's really very heavy on your power, and unless you're running a full fleet and everybody is within range, this isn't really going to help you the most. When it comes to these, where is it? Capacitor transmitter and a shield field will be the best options. Let's go straight into it. And as you can see, this one here gives you 1/3 of the power extra, and it does have that very short range. So only vessels who come in very close to you, you can transfer capacitor to at 131 gigajoules per second, plus the boost from the ship and the boost in radius that gives you a little bit extra range to give them energy. And it has a very small footprint overall at 50 megawatts. So 50 plus 1, that gives you 51. That raises your entire grid up to just over 200 megawatts overall in your bottom range. That gives you another 150 to go, and let's see what we can do with the top slots. Now, your top slots are going to be shield boosters, and we only have to look at one of these and we can get the whole build. Remote shield booster. As a requirement, 29 megawatts. That means 4 of these is 120 megawatts. Basically, 120 makes us fall just below what we had left at 150. So we just have a little bit of power left, just 30 megawatts. It has a severe drain as well, just near 200 for each activation. Timesing it by 4, that is 800 gigajoules minus the effective gain which you get when you stock up on all of your research. That's going to give you somewhere in the range of minus 37.5%, a few hundred off the top, 200 and something off the top, so about 600 gigajoules per every 6 seconds running this vessel. And that's quite a heavy drain. You can't run the shield repair non-stop. You have to choose your points at the perfect moments. So remember that overall, even though you have 4,500 gigajoules, that drain is extremely noticeable. You can only gain 400 extra once every 60 seconds, and you have to have a massive amount of your capacitor left to gain that 400 extra. 1,000 is just over 25% of, no, it's just under 25% of your capacitor. So if your capacitor falls below 25%, you can't use your battery to boost you up a little bit and get you through the top. So looking at the overall points on this whole ship, what is the good way to use it? It is a support vessel. It's going to run in its standard support row in my fleet descriptions. And as I said, fleet descriptions can change slightly. My best builds are my best builds. I test them out, I see how they work, and most of the time they run well. Now, Are they definitely the best build throughout the entire game that you can ever imagine? No, they aren't. My best builds are only the best build for the moment. And they are subject to change. When I say they are subject to change, I mean today when we have expert command, some of these ships are going to be way more powerful than a destroyer who's right now the best at support. And the moment you have more engineering, more power, everything into your vessel, you have a better chance of optimizing the usage of these support vessels. So that's how it works when it comes to running support vessels. And please note that these most likely are the only builds for support ships. You could try and outfit it with a micro warp drive in a weird situation with one shield booster and let's see, I'm trying to think of another build. Micro warp drive, afterburner, a shield booster, and what will go in the last one? A warp stabilizer for PvP fleeting. The biggest problem there is two of those low slots are so heavy on power that your ship won't be able to do anything. You're literally using all the power to keep the ship away from battle. So you literally need to keep 50% of the power for battle, and that is it. 50% to run away and 50% to fight. And you're reducing your 4,500 all the way down to a small, tiny little figure of 2,250. And it is bigger because of your engineering. I do understand that. I know that that affects your entire rig. So, considering it all together, that's why I'm calling this the best build. Not the best build, I'm calling it the support build. Now, support builds, these might go all the way till the end of the game and become the mastered support builds. I might call them my mastered support builds after I start researching the shield and the armor remote transfer weapons. Now, since those are a little bit difficult to understand without the research, I'm just holding it at first. Let me just open this quickly. Okay, I did say that I wanted the ship yesterday, and I did have some research, and it doesn't mean that I have enough. So let's just look at how much it goes up by at level 5. Booster capacity need minus 15, remote range plus 25, shield booster amount plus 25, power grid need minus 10%. So overall, if I research this all the way, it's going to have a very small impact on my vessel. It's going to be a lot smaller of a footprint. I'm going to have extra space in my megawatts. I might decide to run a little bit bigger of a setup, a double capacitor, something like that. All depends on how it goes with your research. Now, in consideration of everything that comes with this territory on this type of build, I am going to suggest that if you haven't done research, don't go into getting these ships straight off the back because they are expensive by the looks of it, and the fittings on them aren't so expensive. At just below 40 million a piece for the C-type gear which you're going to fit on this vessel, they're very cheap. And I'd go out and I'll farm it and I'll put it on a vessel, or I'll just buy it off the market. But the vessel itself costs a little bit more. I'm not sure how many players are running these in game, but I'm pretty sure that they run similar rigs to what I've just discussed. As I said, these are just theoretical builds. They aren't the final build. They aren't even the best build as far as I'm concerned at the moment. So that's going to be about it for this video. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.